Hello, this is gonna be a short video about refurbishing this little thing. The ASUS 9800GT Matrix. And as you can see, I just obtained this, by the way. As you can see, it's in incredibly bad shape. Right? This comes from apparently a smoker. Now, let's see. I haven't disassembled this. I just tried testing it. Or, I should say, just tried to get a picture out of it. And I got a picture out of it. So it does show a picture. But, yeah, I want to refurbish this thing. So let's do it. And I'm putting this under it because the back I/O is actually taller than the heatsink. So let's disassemble it. Let's see how it looks like underneath. I actually can't imagine how it looks like underneath. We'll see soon. There's some history with me and this card. Not this particular one, but this model. I actually had two of them in the past. And I sent both of them in, I think, 2018 or something, or 19. I can't exactly recall which year it was. But I sent both of them to a pretty large collector in Australia. His name is Sean. He runs a channel, Quastec. I think it's called like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, he is a ROG collector, and he's collecting motherboards and GPUs. And he pretty much has all of the models on GPU side. And he has two of my 9800 GTs as well. So there is some history. Now, I missed the cards because I kind of like the heatsink design and everything, even though it's complete garbage, in my opinion. And actually, no, it is objectively pretty garbage. But it is a cool design. So here we have it. Oh my god. Oh my sweet goodness. Oh, that is one of the worst cards or I guess shape I've ever seen a GPU be in. And I've seen a lot of GPUs. As you can imagine, I've been working on hardware or with hardware since like 2009, 2010, more seriously 2011 and so forth. I've seen a lot of used stuff, but this is up there with the worst. So let's unplug this. And how do I continue this disassembly? So this is basically the card, and yeah, the thermal paste is actually falling off. That's crazy. This thing is completely dried out. Luckily, I actually disassembled it. Apparently, this is actually the stock paste. It looks like it's actually original paste. All right, let's continue. I can see a little capacitor here is moved a little bit, but I'm gonna touch the PCB later. For now, I kind of want to continue with this heatsink. So let's disassemble it more. Let's get this plastic off. Yo. Oh my sweet goodness. Oh. What the fuck? Wow. This is gonna need a deep clean or something. I'm gonna put it in the washer or something, like, holy, you can see. Okay, I'm not gonna blow on that. Hell nah. You can I am not blowing on that. I'm getting cancer from this. What is this? Jesus. Okay, careful. Here we can see the heatsink. Jesus. How do I get the fan off? It has 3 screws. Okay. Ooh, can I squeeze you through? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need a smaller one. Let's see if this works. Oh, okay, all good. I do not want to bend that plastic. So we put some support under it. Alright, the fan is off. Oof. Can I get the screw out? Come on. There's so much dust that the screw is stuck. There we go. And then one more. And then, where's the rest? Oh, there it is. The last one. Wow. That is nasty. What the hell? Whoa. It's completely clogged up. It's completely clogged up. There's no way. What the? Oh no. Alright, moving on to the PCB. Ooh. I'm gonna have to move it like this. First, these guys click. Click. And then the heatsink comes off. Oh, there we go. There's our power stages. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Now let's get the VRAM heatsink off. That's all of our screws. And how do I pull you off? Usually you start with this side. Oh, it's actually glued. Of course it's glued on. Wow. Don't tell me it's gonna be a rough one. Yeah, come on. Ah, nice. Not all of the pads came off. But let's see. Ooh, Samsung memory. Ooh. We got Samsung memory here. But yeah, that is the GPU now. Oi, oi, oi. Incredible. Look at my finger. Jesus. Yeah, this is going under the tap. Under the tap, and we're gonna scrub it a little bit. Everything is going under the tap, so. And also the underside of the VRAM heatsink. Well, that's the first look at this poor 9800 GT. Well, let's continue with the wash. I will disassemble this before we go to wash it though. So let's disassemble it. I've already cut a hole open on the back side. Now I just need this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So, here we go. Don't lose this. Where do I put it? In a safe place. Now let's pull this off. Okay, we have a bearing right here. We can put this bearing back. I'm gonna lubricate it. It needs lubrication. Is there only one bearing? Yes, only one. Okay, where is it? Alright, let's go washy washy. There's our fan. Everything's dirty from this dust now. Okay. Alright, let's continue. We're here in the bathroom. I have my card and we're just gonna put it under tap water first, right? The tools that I'm gonna be using is just a toothbrush. And there should be a lot of echo right now. First, the toothbrush, just a little bit. Let me focus a little bit, let's see. To get the main stuff off. Sadly, the sticker is going to get destroyed on the back side, but it is what it is. There we go. Already quite a bit better. Alright, the second thing that I'm going to be using is this, which is kind of a degreaser. So, spray. Oh my sweet goodness. It's already brown. And it's not even going off. What the hell? When you're doing this, you kind of want to be careful to like not touch the components with the plastic part of the toothbrush. I'm using quite a bit of pressure on it right now, but I'm using feeling. I'm using feeling to determine whether or not I'm getting close to the components or not with the plastic part of the toothbrush. Wow, that is brown. Oh, look at that shit. What? I'm gonna have to do it 2 times on this. Looks like. Yeah, wow. Okay. The toothbrush is also brown. That's just the PCB. I can't even imagine the heatsink. Oh, that is, wow, that is clean now. Okay, I see more on the back. Let's do the back IO. I didn't think about that one actually. It's still going brown, that's crazy. No, the back IO actually isn't fully screwed in. I'm gonna clean the HDMI slot. Need to press it in a bit. Okay, a little bit of a wash. Okay.
Wow, now it's shiny. Everything got removed. That's, dude, this degreaser is insanely strong. Because usually, like, smoke, or at least cigarette smoke, it's like difficult to remove off of hardware. But this just dissolves it. I love it so much for that reason. I should have taken these guys off, by the way. By the way, I'm holding it like this, so I'm supporting the PCB from the back side as well. I'm not putting force on the PCB. I'm trying to keep the sticker alive, by the way, so I'm going around the sticker. I love this toothbrush as well. Wow, it just dissolves everything. Again, you have to be careful while doing this. You can easily knock off components if you're doing this. So, but I have years of experience, so luckily I have decent feeling for this. And I'm sorry, like, about the echo. Like, the echo is probably terrible right now on the audio. I hope the audio is even, like, working properly. Hopefully, for the sake of the video. You could also remove the back I/O, by the way, like the little shield. You know? I don't know why I didn't remove it, to be honest. I could have, but let's get rid of this. Oh, that is clean. Yeah, that is flawless. It looks brand new, basically. I guess I could show you which direction are you? This direction. It looks brand new. Okay, so I will dry this off with a towel first. You just tap the towel a little bit, tap, 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 and then I will blow it with a blower. And then we continue to the heatsink. Okay, I decided to show you this. Basically, you tap the towel like this. Carefully, do not pull the towel, because you might flick off some components, and oh my god, that is shiny now. That is beautiful. Look at that shine. And then the opposite side. Here we go. You can see there's some water still present, so we're gonna blow it off with this thing. This thing. now that that's done, we can continue to the rest of the parts, the rest of the heatsink. So let's begin with the fan. Okay. Well, spray it. Shit! What the? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! This is worse than I thought. This is way worse than I thought. Yo. This is probably in his lungs, by the way. Jesus. What? I'm gonna need the big brush for this. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's do another round. Another round. Round 2. Still getting brown. What? It's still brown. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's clean now, okay. Amazing. Wow. Okay. Next, fan is done. Next, the little heatsink. Yeah. No, this one's too hard for the thermal pad. So I'm gonna use the toothbrush for the thermal pad, but I need more degreaser. By the way, not all thermal pads will be able to hold together when you're doing this. This one luckily actually just stays together normally. Okay. Heatsink done. Moving on. The memory heatsink. This I can just use the normal toothbrush. Wow. Oh, no worries, dude, no worries. That's only the edge, it's not covering anything. Clean. Wow. This one broke apart a little bit, but no worries. Even if they break or whatever, I have more. All right, the main part, the heatsink. Oh, wow. This thing. Yo, okay. Well, here we go. Can I get more pressure out of this? I'm trying to push water through the fins to get the pieces out. Oh, nasty, what? Yeah, not a lot of water pressure here, sadly. But let's spray it. Oh. Just spraying it, look. What? What the hell? I'm sadly probably not gonna be able to get through. I don't have. I guess I have a brush. I could do that to get into the fins, you know, deep into the fins. I could use a brush. But I think this one's good enough. I'm gonna use a toothbrush for this. Okay, enough for this. Let's continue with the toothbrush. Shit. Yo. I'm gonna have to do a second round. Whoa. Ooh, that is very clean already, actually. Okay, let's do a second round, but I'll get my brush. Here we go. We have our brush, so we can get a little bit deeper into the fins. Let's spray it again. Let's get a little deeper now. So we're gonna get to the heat pipes and everything. Oh, I should do this. Wow. Okay, careful with this one now. The fins are very, very sharp. I'm destroying my fingers by doing this. Alright, the inside. How do I get into the inside? Oh, like this, okay. There we go. Okay. I would usually do this under the shower, but it's extremely difficult to do it here. It's just not the right shower to do it. We don't have a tub, is it called? A tub, yeah. Bathtub, we don't have a bathtub, so it's difficult to do it under the shower. It's a standing shower. So I'm doing it in the sink, sadly. Amazing. Wow, that looks brand new. Extremely good. Yeah, I will wipe off the paste later. No worries. All right, let's move on to the last piece, the most gruesome one. The most gruesome one. Let's get this one sorted. Oh my god, it actually left a mark behind it. Ew! Yo! There we go. Okay. Whoa. Shit. What the? Oh my goodness. Oh, this is stuck completely. Okay, so let's wipe it off. Okay, you go here. This degreaser is actually crazy good. I haven't done such a card in such a bad condition with this degreaser, so I didn't really know the potential of it. I've only done like casual stuff with this degreaser, but this just shows how crazy it is. Look at this. What? Jesus, and that's only the top. What about the bottom? Yo, what the? Oh hell no, oh hell no. No, that is crazy, dude. What? But it looks brand new. No scratches, nothing, which is crazy, by the way. It's in perfect physical shape, you know, so like there's no dents or scratches or missing MLCCs or resistors on the PCB. Everything is perfect. It's just in terrible shape. What? This is the second time, so let's see the second time. It's a little bit better, but it's still brown, which is crazy. It's still getting brown. Oh my god. First time was not enough. Also, I'm questioning, is this even... This is not plastic, by the way. This is metal. I didn't know, actually. I thought it was plastic. I even thought when I had mine, it felt like plastic, to be honest. But no, it is metal. Yeah, it is metal, yeah. Wow, that is brand new. Again. Yeah. Wow. Magic. Magic. Let's continue. Alright, let's blow off the heatsink.
Alright, now that the washing part is done, we have our cleaned GPU. Beautiful. We still need to clean the paste, so we're gonna do that. But the heatsink is looking incredible after the wash. There it is. That's the VRM heatsink. Here's the main heatsink. You can see the fins. Beautiful. Not a single trace. You would never know that this was in such a bad condition. It has no signs that it was in such a bad condition. And I know this is a OCD OCD triggering. We need to clean this. It's gonna be quite a mission to actually clean that, because it's very, very solid. Oh, this feels so smooth now as well. Good. And the fan, of course. The inside is still a little bit rough. I couldn't quite get to it. Yeah, I couldn't quite get to it. I could get to it with a Q-tip. So just I mean, no one's gonna see it and it doesn't really matter on the inside. Realistically, this motor, I can clean it with isopropyl alcohol. That's no problem. And I'm gonna clean the wire as well. The wire is looking really bad. But yeah, that's the main part. Now the GPU. Let's clean the core. Right. This thing is a little bit loose. I'm gonna screw it in a little bit later on the DVI. The DVI is a little bit loose. Yeah, let's clean the core. Before I do the next step, I will show you what the next step is. Let me get my Q-tips, multiple. Now, can I get this off? That is the big question. Oh, it is very solid. Okay, I will not be able to do that with a Q-tip. So how do I approach this? Let me see if acetone potentially helps. I will do quite a bit of acetone on this. The Arctic sells a thermal paste cleaner, which is pretty cool because it dissolves the thermal paste on the core or anywhere, right, obviously. But I don't have it. That's the issue. I don't have it. Well, acetone is doing something definitely, but I don't think it's doing enough. That middle part, bro. Impossible to get it off. Let me screw the back in. Hold on. Let's screw this boy in. Oh, this is already fully in. The way to screw this in, you can get a little attachment. I think it's either this one. Yeah, it's this one. There we go. There we go. That's as much as I can remove from this core, sadly. I can't really remove that. It's impossible without the Arctic remover. That's fine. Okay, so the next thing that I was talking about, the next thing that I do after a wash is I just point a heat gun into the core and the memory, and usually the VRM, to potentially get any droplets out from under the core and the VRAM and potentially like the capacitors and inductors and so on, just to get those little droplets out. And I have a heat gun right here. This thing. I usually do it by feeling. Ow. Okay. Now the heatsink. And that's it. That is that. Yeah. Heatsink was a quick one. It saturates heat very quickly. Okay. Well, we're good to go for assembly. So, let's begin the assembly then. First, the VRAM. So, all the thermal pads actually survived fully. So, we can just stick this on. Ideally, actually, I turn it around. How are you gonna... Yeah, like this. One. Oh, right. It doesn't quite come on top of the heatsink. I would have to... Yeah, it is what it is. I'm just gonna screw it in like this. First over here, and then I can grab it and lift it. Oh, actually, I don't have to lift it. I can just screw it in right here. There it is. Perfect. I will wipe off the screws because they are still brown. A little bit of pressure, not a lot. There we go. Okay, let's wipe them off with isopropyl. Oh, that's a lot of isopropyl actually. I would have to blow it off. Incredibly, the sticker actually stayed intact. This completely intact. It doesn't even look like it was under a shower basically. Right. Oh, sweet goodness. It is like it even got its color back, so like it's white-ish. But unlike this one though, this one did not go white, but you can see this one is number 327. You can see it right here. Okay, well, there it is. Let's get to the heatsink. We need to remove this somehow. I have no idea how. How do I remove you, bro? Yeah, acetone slowly cleans it off. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Just keep rubbing, I guess. Oh, wow. Just keep rubbing. And after a couple of minutes of rubbing with acetone, it is finally off. We're good to go. Nice. Good shape as well. Okay, now refurbishing this thing. Well, let me get some isopropyl. A lot of it. Careful not to touch the wires so you don't potentially break them. Let me see if the wires get back the shine. Not really. They're permanently stained. That's a good band, by the way. I wish I could play it without getting DMCA'd and getting a channel strike. Of course, the bearing. I can actually clean it a little bit. This one will need a re-lube. Let me see if I can get some of this on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. We're gonna re-lube this. Hopefully I have some lube. There we go. And let me get the fan as well. So I'm gonna squeeze this again. Oh, I should not have really done that, to be honest. Can I do it somehow? Like this? Maybe. Yeah, there we go. All nice and clean inside now. Perfect. Amazing, dude. Wow. Okay, so we basically cleaned this fully now. I just need to re-lube this. So let's do that. Okay. I will literally just spray it with this thing. I know it's not the best. I should be using lube oil. I know, I'm aware. This is not ideal. Good. Now let's do the little bearing. I can just put it in actually. Do I? Let's do it outside. Oh no. No. Come on. There we go. Perfect. I will spray it one more time just to get a little bit more in. Okay. And now I can wipe it with isopropyl. I'll basically like just do this. Look, there you go. That's a little piece. And then wipe off the excess because I don't want it around the fan or the inside. Don't want it anywhere near inside. So that's gonna disintegrate all of it. Oh, there's a little piece of cotton. Okay, good. Let's do a little bit on the shaft. There we go, a little bit on the shaft. And assembly. Amazing. There's quite a bit of oil here. There we go. Perfect. Now the important part. This thing. You usually use two tools to do this. You just press it from one and the other side. I can show you like a very close up of this. You see this? Beautiful. See, that's on. Let's hear what it sounds like. There is some sound. It's so hard to hold it and spin it. Wow, it spins nicely. The sound is also going away slowly. Wow, that is a nice refurbish. Usually fans like this, when you refurbish them like this, they don't really go any quieter. In fact, they might actually go louder. So the fact that it is so quiet now. I've tested the card before, I sadly didn't show you, but the fan was incredibly loud when spinning. Now it's actually very, very nice. Incredible. If it wasn't for the bad state of the cable, because it clearly shows that it has been used and it's been in a smoke environment. If it wasn't for the cable, you would think that this fan is brand new, basically. Wow. Amazing. I can't wait to turn this on. Oh. Well, let's assemble it. So, ooh, I have no idea where the... I think it goes here. Yeah, it goes here. It goes on top. Okay, well, let's get the screws in then. I will wipe off the screw. Dude, unnecessary things. Because nobody's gonna be looking at that screw, but I own this card, so I'm gonna be aware of it. I'm gonna be like, dude, I know I didn't clean that screw, dude. Oh, let me focus a little bit here. Okay. Next one. Cleaning. Yeah, that's correct. Correct for assembly, because there's the shroud, right? The shroud needs to go over. The shroud goes over last. Let me tighten this one up. Let's see. Amazing, okay. Last one. I'm so happy that I have this set up so I can show this to you guys, bro. Oh, no. Okay, let's do it the old-fashioned way then. Just straight down. Okay. Yes, we can continue with the shroud. So the shroud goes like this, like that, like that. Okay. Well, let's clean the rest of the screws. So here, let me just change the side of this thing. Okay. Every single piece of this GPU has been touched and refurbished. And what a way to celebrate the first matrix card that ASUS has made. No better way to celebrate it. There it is. Assembled. Let's turn it around. What a beautiful piece. Ha! Okay, let's assemble it fully now. Let me see if I have the right size PTM for this. Ooh, I have an incredibly large PTM for this. I could just stick it onto the heatsink. Yeah, I will just stick it onto the heatsink because like cutting it like this will, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have a piece like that. So I'm gonna stick it to the heatsink because we have a marking, right? We have a marking on the heatsink where we can mount it. Okay, we're just gonna stick it on like that. I went a little bit sideways, sadly, because of this line right here. This is PTM. It's basically gonna make it last forever, so I don't have to disassemble it ever again. Where's my knife? Now let's remove the sticker. There we go. That's our PTM. Let's mount this low heat sink. Let's see which side it was on. There it is. Because it has springs, you can just mount it. Goodbye. Goodbye, little core. You see this date actually? Wow, okay. So it's 2008, right? 2008, week 34. There it is. So 12 years ago. Oh, sweet goodness. 12 years ago, you were the second most powerful card. I guess the third, because there was a GTX and there was a GX2. But yeah. The second fastest single core. All right. What is this bubble right here? I'm gonna destroy this bubble right here. There we go. No more bubble. Well, we assemble it like this on the edge of the table because we know that the back panel comes into contact with the table, so this is difficult because the heatsink is moving a little bit because of the cable, and it's hard to see where the holes are. Okay, got the holes, I believe. Come on. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, wow, that was a little bit difficult. So let's wipe off these screws. I'm gonna need more isopropyl alcohol, and we'll see if this thing still powers on. In fact, it might actually be more likely that it powers on now than before. It is basically in brand new shape. It's incredible. Yeah. Okay, let's screw all of them in. Oh, that's it. That's it. Guys. The 9800GT Matrix by ASUS, the first one made. Fully refurbished. Let's check the PCB. Let's get some close-up pics of the PCB. Make sure that everything is okay. Yeah. You can actually see the numbers of those ICs. You can see the number of the controller, the VRM controller. Barely, actually. Can you see that? Yeah. ADP 3299, or is that 90? 90. You can't see it like that. Yeah, you can only see it in the light. Looks like all the MLCCs and resistors are in place. And yes, like, it's incredible that this GPU was physically, it was in incredibly good shape because there's no resistors or MLCCs missing on the memory or anything like that. Everything is present, nothing is flicked off, or like there's no scratches on the PCB or the cooler. Even the sticker is completely intact, as you can see the sticker. On my screen, I'm actually I'm looking at the screen trying to spot any kind of like physical defects or anything like that, but there's nothing I can spot. Everything is there. Even the display output stuff is all there. Usually it's these PCI Express MLCCs, decoupling capacitors, that get damaged, but even these are in complete perfect shape. And the backside of the core, of course. Wow. Wow. What a refurbish, man. What a refurbish. I'm happy to own this card again, and I'm happy that I was able to refurbish it to this condition from the condition that it was before. Finally, I own another 9800 GT after 6 or 7 years or so after owning 2 of them. Now the only thing left is to test this thing out. And we are going to be testing it in this Z390A Pro by MSI with some Viper sticks and a 9600K. So a perfect combo, not really. This is much newer than the GPU, but a perfect combo because it has a native PCI Express slot directly connected to the CPU. So bonk. We connect the HDMI. We connect the power. That's it. Well, let's turn it on. Is this on? It is. Well, let's turn it on. Well, the fan is spinning very quickly. Very, very quickly. And we have a picture. Perfect. This is my favorite map to test FPS on. It is the heaviest one. This is 1080p at max settings. Oh, I need to move. Oh, yeah, I need to move. I'm freezing up. I'm freezing up. The crisis is crazy. Crisis is absolutely crazy. Here it is. You can see the GPU clock speed, memory clock speed, 99%. You can see the CPU. Oh my god, I'm freezing up. Beautiful. Beautiful.